I've taught over 2,000 players, and today I realized I don't care what rank you want to hit. Here's why. My name is Slayerkey, and I know this sounds crazy, but let me explain. There's very few players who can imagine what it's like to work with 2,000 people individually, each having their own goal, their own dream, and their own personality. I've seen time and time again players set their goals to hit a rank only to be swiftly disappointed upon reaching it. It made me realize players treat ranks the same way people treat money. They set out this goal on what most people would expect to give them a feeling, but what most people forget to think is this: what feeling do I expect it to provide? Accomplishment, stability, recognition. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I promise you, you will never think of ranks the same after it. Also, coaching's in the description if you're interested. I'm just tired of hearing about ranks all the time. I'm tired of these little tracking apps that, like, while you load into the game, it says, okay, this is what your team is at. This is what their win rate's at. This is how this game is going to look before it even starts. It even tries to, like, predict win percentages. And when players finish their games, I hear about all the time, like, oh, I got plats in my lobbies when I'm diamond, or like I'm versing golds when I'm bronze. Like, it's terrible. What am I supposed to do? It honestly boils down to rank doesn't equal skill. It doesn't really mean you have this complete sense of identity around your rank. I tell this to many students, like, you aren't born to be a certain rank. You weren't brought into this world crying out of the womb and your parents look at you and say, ew, it's a silver player. Okay? I don't care what rank you think you are. I don't care what rank you think you're meant to be. All it really boils down to is how much time you put into the game, how consistent you are with your efforts towards the game. Like, this game is completely grindy. The RR system is meant to be grindy. Your hidden MMR is meant to, like, have you play. Everything's basically meant to have you play the game more. And so, like, the players who reach the highest ranks, like, I've had a student who went from like gold 3 up to immortal 3, ended up hitting like radiant top 200, and the primary reason they did that is literally just because they played the game a butt ton and they're very, very consistent with their efforts. It doesn't really boil down to much more than that. Hold on, wait, this close this window, everyone lock in. Going for a little Rabski here. Hold on, let me cook. I'll never see this one coming. Okay, they see it coming. Hold on. Okay, GG. All right, looks like we're remaking for this for some reason. But yeah, to continue, I don't usually ask students anymore. And today I kind of realized this. I would always ask my students, like, or before they become my students, when they do the free consulting, I ask them, like, what rank do you want to hit? Like, what goal do you have in mind? And a lot of times the answer for that would be a rank, and I would almost feel like demotivated or kind of uninterested in the goal. It's just they seem so devoted. It's because they seem so devoid of meaning. When you have a rank in mind that you want to hit, it's almost like a side quest. You could think of it as just another way to think of it is it's just an external motivator. And external motivators aren't very consistent to keep you on track for improvement. And they also just don't fulfill you in many ways. So going forward, I'm going to start asking, what type of player do you want to be? When you see yourself, like, what type of player do you see yourself moving towards or becoming? Or do you just want to be, do you want to be like the cracked out duelist, fragging out in every game? Do you want to be a player who's very strategic and smart and works the lurks? What type of player do you want to be? Because, to be honest, I've watched a lot of these gameplays, and like being an ascendant, though it doesn't always mean like top fragging and playing the most strategically. Sometimes you just play, sometimes you can have like a very poor approach to the game, where you just take like very unfavorable fights. You kind of like have no abilities, you kind of have no team play, and you can still make it very, very far. Before we continue, I need to clarify that these are my arms and not boobs. Also, if you're interested in improving, I'm now looking for dedicated players to join my 6-week coaching program. This is where you'll finally understand what's holding you back and get real results like this. You can also find over 50 resources in my private improvement community. Visit Slayerkey.com if this sounds like something for you. Otherwise, enjoy the video. I don't really think that rank equals skill. I really don't think so. And if you talk to the top of the top players, a lot of them have, instead of having like a rank or like a skill that they work on, they actually have like, they're like scientists. They create experiments and theories for how they approach the map or how they approach situations. And this is what they test in their games. They test out these theories, they test out these paths, and they see just not like what works best statistically across all ranks, but like what works best for them. This is also why I think like meta agents and all this stuff just isn't really like, I wouldn't say worthwhile, but it's just not interesting. It's just like not interesting. Like, you're not just gonna play an agent generally unless she's very, very broken. Hashtag Clove, hashtag Chamber pre-nerf, hashtag Astra pre-nerf. That just completely dominates every single lobby. Hold on, lock in. Okay, GG. And so I'm just kind of over it. I'm gonna be honest, I'm just kind of over it. I think part of the reason I wanted to make this video is because I feel like this concept or idea is lost on so many different, not so many different, but just so many players. I feel like so many people miss this concept or this idea that really what you're trying to do is like build an approach to the game that works really well. Like, that's all it is. And as long as you're doing that, I feel like you're gonna learn a lot more that way. And I think even like when you think about it this way, it even changes your approach for the game. Like, if you want to improve and get better and all you care about is like reaching a rank, every time you lose a game or every time your teammate does like a bad mistake or do something that like you don't think is optimal, it's really going to hurt your mental. Like, I've seen so many players get attached to this idea of what it means to play perfect at Valorant and how they should be playing the game. Like, they develop these very high expectations basically. And so because of that, they're very easily let down by the people around them. But if you're focused on theory and like approach and just what you're trying to practice or work on instead, like that's why I think becoming a rank is like becoming a certain rank is like a side quest, and the main quest is just like getting better, right? At this point, a lot of us probably watching this video or just in general just like want to get better at the game, and really nothing more like complicated than that. Like, you just want to get better, right? And when you try to get better in ways that don't actually lead you to get better, it makes the game like very, very I wouldn't even say it makes the game unfun. It makes you feel like, oh, I'm doing all this for like practically nothing. Like, why am I even doing this in the first place? All right, let me lock in here. Let me lock. We need a good B hold. All right, we got a good B hold here. Okay. All right, 1v3 clutch. Let me lock in here. I'd see either push through A. There's probably maybe 2 on site, maybe 1 lurking mid. The Reyna likes to lurk mid. I have a free flank here, and she's holding there, so GG. But yeah, I'm starting to get this approach for the game because I'll be like straight up with you guys. This is a more like honest, direct video that like I just haven't been enjoying Valorant as of late. And I'd like to say I don't know what it is, but I do. It's just like I don't enjoy the game as much anymore. I don't see the purpose of playing these like 40-minute games just to play them and like try to grind a rank. I don't really like basically care about too much. Hold on, lock in. Let me kill this chamber lurking mid. Perfect. Don't even need to ult because they're all there. Okay, Reyna went side off that. Okay, she got me good. And for those of you who watched my like 30-day to Radiant challenge, that was basically like, it was pretty fun to do actually, but that was my attempt at like getting meaning from the game again and like trying something I felt like would be a challenge and would be difficult. So I could have like more purpose to playing, and it did help for like a bit. And it taught me a lot about like create content. Like, the reason for me doing, when you hear like 30 days to Radiant challenge, a lot of people kind of just take it as it is, like I'm just grinding for a rank, but it was really like I want to do more content creation and like practice streaming more and like talking to my audience. And then I want to see like, do I actually enjoy just like straight up grinding the game? Am I actually able to hit Radiant at this point in time? But yeah, it was basically just to teach me a bunch of different things about like life and stuff, and I'd accomplished that purpose. If you didn't watch it, I didn't end up hitting Radiant. I'm still a little sad about it because like obviously you still want to hit it, but it taught me something really interesting, and I might make a video like about this, about like the 30 days, and I'll probably say the same point there. But like I watched Technoblade do his potato series. It's one of my favorite series if you haven't watched it, and like it basically taught me that you spend your life grinding for like the top rank, in potatoes. Oh, okay, GG. You stop grinding for the top rank in potatoes. You reach rank 1 farmer in potatoes, and then you reach it, and then it becomes this prison. You basically imprison yourself to this temporary title, and your entire life is now dedicated to like grinding potatoes. And I thought about this in terms of Valorant, and I was like, my entire time is dedicated to grinding for the difference between top 600 and top 500. Right, my voice chat cannot be any, look how low my voice chat volume is, and it's still too loud. But yeah, to continue to talk, people say you need, like, there is certain criterias you need for like teams or like for tournaments. You need to be a certain rank, which I think is probably the only exception I can actually think of. That's kind of the same thing as like you need experience for a job, and in some situations I think it'll help. But I think at the end of the day, like when I think of a coach's perspective or like a team lead, team manager's perspective, like they don't really care about the rank. They care that the rank at least means a little bit of something, so you can actually do what you say. Like a lot of them are probably saying, or a lot of them are probably just hoping that like you actually just perform, right? They don't actually care about the rank as much as like, okay, hopefully this means that the player gets this. And when you reach a certain point, it's less about like your rank and more about your performance and like scrims. And like scrims or tournaments and stuff like that. Like that's always gonna be the bigger deal. I think that's the most important consideration for like players who are watching this and they want to be the best of the best, or they want to reach like they want to join like a tier 2 team, or they want to compete at like a high level. That what they really care about is your performance and like your ability to convert, and like all this stuff that requires you to do that, like the level of game sense and the level of awareness, has basically nothing to do with like aim training and all this other stuff. Like it's really your considerations in that moment. Okay. LOL, easy spam. LOL, easy spam. All I had to do was not be killed by the Reyna and then wallbang everyone. Easy. Easy. But yeah, don't get me wrong here, like I have this perspective, but there's still a part of me that's like, oh my gosh, this is my rank, and oh my gosh, I'm losing this. But it's the passenger and not the one that drives the wheel. But yeah, there's still a certain part of me that like identifies, and it doesn't drive my actions, but it's still like there, you know what I mean? It's still like there. And I think it's just a part of like this old identity I used to have, and like this conception of what it means to like be a coach, or like what people think of coaches, like the judgment they have and preconceptions they have about coaches, and like all this other stuff. Burn, baby, burn. This Phoenix threw it from mid. I think he wants everyone to see that. He's real proud of that. Everyone say nice job, Phoenix, in the comments. But yeah, I'm curious what you guys end up thinking about this, and if you believe like, yep, that makes sense. I wanted to try this series and see what it kind of felt like to just yap and go off. And I know Valorant matches are like a lot shorter. I got this idea from someone who does Clash Royale content, and you know, those games are literally a few minutes, which is basically like one round of Valorant. So yeah, now we're trying this out instead. Yippee. Maybe these videos would be easier too if I wasn't playing Cypher, where I have to like brainstorm and ideate every single round and like get trips down. Like this trip is so annoying, by the way, because it's like a pixel. It's like a pixel every single time, like a singular pixel. And so you have to get perfect. Also, Outlaw on this map is like very, very broken. If you guys haven't tried it, heavily recommend. Watch this. Wait, how did the Clove just get away with peeking that like that? Gulp. Please cover me, good sir. Wait, my Phoenix is in la la la. JK. You see that movement? Like, they don't even know I'm there and they're still missing their shots. That's crazy. Crazy. Also, my strategy on this map, I don't know what my win rate is. If I remember, I'll put it on screen. It's probably like 80% at this point. It used to be like 94. It's literally just to outlaw mid as Cypher. I don't know what it is about this. I mean, defense kind of cooks too, but I don't know what it is about this, but it just like cooks. It just completely cooks. I've never had a map have this high of a win rate before. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna kind of contest mid here. Yep. Perfect. I mean, I think this guy rotates through spawn. He's 4,400. Let's hope my teammate hit him once. Oh, no. Please peek me, sire. Also, there's other videos you guys want to see me cover. You know, please let me know. I like these styles of videos, although I don't know exactly what I would do next time. All right, match point. Here we go. The pain's almost over. GG. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh. 3, 2, 1. GG. There we go. 19 RR. That was worth 40 minutes of my time against Radiance and Immortal 3s. Thank you, game. See you guys in the next video.